Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're so glad that everybody's here gathered together at the church today. And we want you just to sit back and relax and enjoy the memories that we all shared of Thanksgiving in Palaca with Grandma and Grandpa.
My memories of Palaca, I have quite a few, but I'm not going to tell them all because it would take the rest of this video. A couple things I remember though, always getting in the truck and riding out to the dunes. I think probably a lot of us have that memory. And either sliding down the hill or running and jumping down the hill and rolling and having all kinds of fun. I remember everybody sleeping wall to wall, people, as we spent the night there and had a big old family slumber party. That was awesome. We were playing games, of course eating great food, the Thanksgiving times at the church, having some awesome basketball games and other things. The best part was just everybody being together. That was a lot of fun. I kind of missed that.
Memories about going to Palaca for Thanksgiving would have to be the awesome game of bump that we always played after we ate, and how Uncle Jason always won because he's got some mad cheating skills. Basketball skills.
So what I remember about Palaca is when the kids were little, we would go and they would all sleep on the floor, and it was really cold and there was a storm and the electricity went out, so there was no lights or anything, but probably 50 people sleeping in the house that night.
My favorite memory of Thanksgiving in Palaca is probably going to the sand dunes and getting berries.
One thing I remember is all cousins sleeping in front of that big old school TV with the turn whatever knob on it, staying up late while the adults were sleeping, watching the Dukes of Hazzard and Roller Jam, and it was awesome.
Is going out to the sand dunes and finding the rock marbles and being packed in like sardines into Grandma's and Grandpa's trailer.
Something I remember about going to Palaca was Grandpa would walk in front of us and we'd follow him, and he would drop change in the sand and we gotta pick it up all excited and then go buy candy at the store.
So, memories of Palaca. So, I remember being at the church with the carpet gym playing, where we all ate, and then we would play pig and horse with Uncle Jason and knockout. And I remember that was so much fun. And Uncle Jason was always such a good sport, and he always played with us, even though he teased us a lot when we were growing up. We loved playing pig and horse and knockout with him. And another thing is, we would go out to the sand dunes, and I remember going out, there was these rocks, and then there was these little these little things poking up out of the rocks, and we would hammer them off, and there was little brown, round pebble things inside. I think the Grandma and Grandpa called them marbles, and they had a jar full of them. I remember loving to go find those. And we loved the dunes also. Stuffing sand down our pants and rolling down the dunes. One more thing I remember is we would all sleep at Grandma and Grandpa's house in their tiny little trailer. I remember being in our pajamas and there was a pull-out couch and we would all watch a movie. We watched some movie with Haley Mills in it, Pollyanna or something, I don't remember. And I just remember us being in our pajamas and that pull-out couch and everybody was just in there smushed together and like sardines, but it was fun. So.
I remember in Palaka, we'd sit all day and wait for everybody to come because we were so excited because we were out there all by ourselves. Well, without any family for days on end, and so exciting to have our family come. We'd always have the church reserved and everything cooked and gathered up. And we all got together. It was so fun, and the kids played together, and the big guys played with the little guys, and the women played games, and sometimes the men played games, and I just remember just being together and as a family and how much we enjoyed it. And that's all.
Something I remember about Grandma and Grandpa's house in Palaka is going to find money outside their yard. And I know that Grandpa would drop it. I now know that. I didn't know that for the longest time.
I'm Mr. Candyman. I'm gonna eat your candy.
Some of my favorite memories of Palaka, growing up and hanging out with everybody, and playing basketball, going to the dunes. No one sleeping because Grandma and Grandpa snore so loud. Picking money up against the fence. And just being around everybody. It was a lot of fun.
On the stage, there was like a box or a bag of costumes to dress up and stuff. And I just remember a pair of boxers with like the red hearts on it, white boxers with red hearts on it.
What I remember about Palaka is that Grandma used to tell the kids that they would get pregnant if they drank the water, or even use the water to brush their teeth. So that was fun. And I also remember all the kids wanting to play with the little adding machine all the time. They would fight over that, and that was like the funnest toy ever. And I also remember Odie. Let's not forget Odie. Rest in peace. Say it.
What I remember about Thanksgiving in Palaka is gathering at the church and then everybody asking, all the grandkids and kids asking me to do a backflip for them. So, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Little out of practice.
I remember going to the sand hills where Tom Palaka and President Kimball sat under the tree and had a conference. Then we went to the sand hills and rode boxes down the hill and watched the kids roll and roll. And my bathtub was always full of sand. And we had always had a good time when the kids came out to Palaka.
Okay, my memory is of when we were at the church and all of the dads got the dividers and made a maze for us, and turned the lights off, and all the kids ran through it.
I remember, yatta hey! We went to Palaka over there. We went to the sand dunes every Thanksgiving. It was a good time. Nah, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I do remember going to the sand dunes. That was super fun. Grandma and Grandpa had this sweet flare side Ford truck, and we would sit on the tailgate and for some reason like drag sticks driving back from the sand dunes. That was fun. We always would play. We played basketball at the gym, and that was super fun. I loved that. Uncle Rick would stick carrots up his nose and then eat them for some reason. I don't remember exactly why, but that was a funny time. I loved going to Palaka for Thanksgiving.
Remember all the dogs for sure. There's a lot of them. Makes me wonder if they ever use them for Navajo tacos or Indian tacos, since we're on the Hopi Res. I don't think they call them Hopi tacos. The sand dunes, of course, can't forget those. Jumping down, rolling down the sand dunes and sliding down them and burying people. And then eating at the church and playing lots and lots of basketball. Lots of bump, lots of that. And around the world and horse, and I think that was probably some of the funnest times, was just everyone playing ball together. We should definitely do that today. Uncle Rick, you definitely stand out. Yeah, what are they called? The olives. There we go. Mr. Olive Nose, and he'd always grab our olives and take them, and we just like to put them in our finger and eat them. That's all we wanted to do, but you had to do Mr. Olive Nose and Mr. Carrot Nose and anything else that there was. That's basically what I remember, so hopefully you guys remember some more exciting stuff. Oh, and everyone packing into Grandma and Grandpa's house to sleep. We're packed in like sardines and would wander down the hall and try to figure out what noise was coming out of Grandma and Grandpa's bedroom, and it was just Grandma snoring. I know you won't want to admit that, Grandma, but we remember. So, love y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
What I remember about going to Palaka is staying the night in that little bedroom, and for the first time I realized that both Hoot and Dixie snored.
One of my favorite memories of Thanksgivings in Palaka are first and foremost chicken noodle soup with homemade noodles by Grandpa. Amazing. No one ever can match his chicken noodle soup. Sorry to all the imposters and people out there who try. I also remember playing basketball and playing Mad Gab and laughing, and the overall feeling of loving this family who I had just come to know and feeling like they were accepting of me and that I could belong. So thank you all for loving me. Happy Thanksgiving.
I remember the drive out to Palaka and trying to be the first one to see the sign at Grandma's store, and I would usually lie and say I found it first when I really didn't. I remember going and collecting glass pop bottles with Grandma. I remember going to the sand dunes and rolling down the sand dunes and burying each other in the sand. I remember bagging groceries for Grandma and thinking I was a fancy girl. I remember thinking that maybe I might be pregnant when I came home from a visit with Grandma because Jessica told me if I drank the water I'd get pregnant. And I remember being able to pick a treat for the drive home, and we would always pick those finger suckers. I remember Grandpa's talking plant. He actually had a police scanner behind his plant, and every time it would go off, he would shake the plant. So I thought the plant was alive and talking.
There is a lot to choose from. Mine would have to be all the games we played, whether it be at the church or at Grandma's house. Kids were always having fun doing something, and all the joy and fun that we had together as a family.
I remember before we would leave, we'd all go to the store and we'd get the Smarty suckers, or the ones that were like a sword that were rainbow, and we'd all have to do a chore or help Grandma stock shelves before we got a treat before we left. I remember that they made us try bread and milk for the first time, and I did not like it, and I tried to dump it down the sink. And Grandma didn't have a disposal. And then I think Grandma or Grandpa kind of got mad. Who dumped their bread and milk down the sink? And I didn't admit to it because I was scared.
So, I guess my favorite memories from Pawlaka Thanksgiving are probably the same as everyone else's. Of course, Grandpa's homemade noodles are the best, and basketball was always fun with Uncle Jason's mad, crazy basketball skills. And the sand dunes were always fun. I remember throwing dirt clods up and Odie would jump and bite them. Something else that I remember that I always thought was so cool is how Grandpa Hoot would take us, like, I think maybe it was their primary room, and he would lift up the floor and it was their baptismal font. So that's something that was always kind of cool to see.
Maybe the intense basketball games would be the thing I could remember about it.
I remember going to the sand dunes. That was so fun, like digging the little pebbles out, and Grandma was having her eye out for the old jars, those, not jars, but you know what I mean, the pop bottles. And I loved going over there. Me and Jessica would go and stay, and Grandma would buy us baby bottles all the time and pacifiers, and that was always fun because we didn't get to do that at home. And I loved at Thanksgiving in the gym at the church, all the basketball games we'd play as a family. It was just a great time, good memories.